Francesco sent me a message this morning. He goes, "Oh, the new MacBook Max M3. It's only 7.3K." I'm like, "Yeah, I wouldn't be buying that one."
7.3K.
I wish I could afford 7.3K.
When it's getting more than the price of a car.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, the new MacBook starts at £1,500, and that's just for the basic model, which Francesco says the M3 basic is crap.
So I want the MacBook Pro M4 Pro
The
Max,
M4's
whatever.
That's
I know
next year.
however far down the road, but it better come with wheels and a steering wheel and a handbrake and everything, and be multi-purpose.
To be fair, the M3, Milo, it's a classic.
Well done.
Any car fan will tell you the M3 is a classic.
Not as classic as the M1.
Well, that is true. M3 is more my time frame.
There you go.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, Mazza just said that Barca will be in Mexico for the Day of the Dead. You might even get to see the parades and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you will. Oh. You'll also get the extra candy for catching stuff.
Yay.
Tonight on 143, as the Spice Girls sang "To Become One," your Incensed boys minus Ginger Spice are releasing their version of 4 Becoming 3. Welcome to Incensed. How are we doing? We've got tonight. We've got Baby Spice and
we've got Fetus Spice.
Fetus Spice. I don't remember that one.
I'm definitely not sporty or posh. I don't know where I am.
Northern Spice.
Northern Spice.
Old Spice.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Oh, dear.
Where's the sponsorship deal on that one? That's a great setup.
I'll be Rural Spice.
You have to be Rural Spice.
What are we doing, boys? We've got, obviously, for the people listening to the podcast, we've got Ian Waterfall, Pogo Milo UK, and myself, Masterful27. How are we doing?
You know what? I was thinking this literally just before we actually started recording. And is it just me, or does it feel more normal when it's just the three of us than when we actually have a fourth recurring member?
It is unusual to have that fourth square ginger blob.
Yeah, it definitely feels more normal.
Depending on the Wi-Fi connection.
I'm just checking with his solicitor if we're allowed to say that. And we're okay. Yes, I agree. It feels more normal when there's only 3 of us. Oh, dear. But are we doing all right, guys?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, we got past the point. Doing good. Come off the back, finally, of the Halloween event. We're heading into November, and I can say I thoroughly utilised every day, pretty much, of the Halloween event, so I'm exhausted. What about you guys?
I worked through pretty much every day of the Halloween event, so
you're
I got to play
as well.
It for 2 days out of the whole week and a half.
Oof. No spoilers, boys. We're going to be delving into that. But as we record this tonight, it's Halloween. Is there any ghouls at your doors, boys? Have you got all the lights off and you've boarded them up so no one comes around? Or they must knock on your door, Milo. Halloween.
No. There'll just be an echo of Coops' track in the background. Spooky spirit.
A spooky spirit.
Ginger spirit.
The ghost of podcast past.
Yes. He'll be here in spirit if you activate the soundboard. That'll be the way he shoehorns into the episode. There we go.
There he is. God rest his soul. No, why am I saying that?
On Halloween.
Why did I say that?
Ooh, the creaky door. Marky, how are you doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm really good. Looking forward to this one, actually. Joking aside, it's always fun. It's always fun as all getting together. Second live recording in a row after two sort of, well, they were live again, but not studio recording, so it's quite nice to be here again, getting into that grind the way up to Christmas now. November, as people listening to this episode, I say it every week, where is the year going? And it
is moving fast. Seriously,
so
this year
fast.
has just been a blur.
I'm going to say something now, and this puts into context how much of a blur. Milo, in 2 weeks' time, it will have been a year since we did the Ultra Beast Arrival last year.
That's freaky.
That's
that was at the end of was towards the end of November.
3rd week in November, yeah. So maybe it's 3 weeks' time then. Yeah.
That's mental.
It does not feel like it's almost a year ago.
Gracious. But that place you went to in London, that looks stunning. And I've driven past it a couple of times. since the event when I've been in London. I remember sort of going past it, but that place was epic, wasn't it? What you experienced,
Perfect
even though it was
location. It's just that and we talked about this last year. It's just the volume of people completely fried all of the cell towers. They completely fried all of the Wi-Fi towers, and we completely fried a Wi-Fi of the building,
Somerset House
that we actually piggybacked onto as well.
Jesus. But yeah,
going back to that
mad.
date, it's almost a year, and at that event, we all stood there with former community manager Dominic, and we said, surely we'll be getting some new Ultra Beasts, because they were all replay Ultra Beasts that were at this event, and we thought Stack Attacker would come and some of the others. And it's only now, a year later, where we know we're going to be getting these in the next sort of few weeks or couple of months. It's crazy.
It is actually, isn't it? They've held on to it for so long, isn't it? You know, where the thought was they were going to throw these things out quite quickly, wasn't it?
They held on to Persephone. That's for sure. They really held on to that one. But yeah, that's what's the rumours, isn't it? They're saying
Stack Attacker and Blacephalon, or whatever you called it. I can't remember. I know there was those two that are rumoured to be coming out shortly.
So we're all heading to Somerset House again, then, guys. Because we go
if
down.
If they do another Ultra Beast event, we'll be there.
I think there is a gym there, so.
Should we create our own one? Take our little placards.
There's a 45-minute event going on.
The Italian tripod has just said in the chat, I want a shiny Buzzwole. Okay,
well, you
there
can't
you go.
have it.
It's not available yet, Francesco. You're going to have to bide your time.
Yeah, in 2029, you might get your shiny Buzzwole.
Only from America.
Yes.
Remember, it was regional.
It was for a while.
We're all here. We're concerned about how the year is going.
Is that whipping us into shape?
I think it might have been.
Move on with the show.
But to our amazing listeners that have tuned in to this episode,
boy, you dirty dogs, drop your incense.
We're going to be sending you all that shiny and hundo look vibes your way. And for those who do have some shiny luck whilst listening to the podcast, please share your successes on X, #shinies of the week.
Can you clarify the spelling?
I sure can, Cricket. Oh, I sure can, whoever that was. It is SHINIESOFTHEWEEK. So, as our Ginger Spice is not here tonight, I'm going to say it. Let's jump into the Pokemon Go goodness.
And now, children, it's time for Getting to Know You with the Incensed podcast.
So, when I hosted the show 4 weeks ago, this was my original question, and then I had a moment of, let's just have
clarity.
A question. Clarity, yeah.
Inspiration.
And, Shredded Cheese was born, and I'm pleased I did find that question. So, the Getting to Know You question today is, what was your most recent dream, and how did it make you feel? And who would like to start?
I don't know. It's got to be either Ian or I guess, but it's an interesting question. Let's just say that. I think it's quite good that you went for another one on the 4 weeks ago show.
I think it shows tenacity that he wants to use the same question again.
Well, why not? It's been sitting in the bank for 4 weeks.
I know what it is. He just didn't erase it from the actual show. Right, I'll just leave that in place.
Absolutely right.
It's still on there.
Ian, you're so right. When I was looking at the show notes from episode 139, I looked at it and went, oh, wait, I didn't use that one. Leave that.
I don't need to erase that line of text. It's a difficult one to answer, genuinely. I'm not very good at remembering what I dream about. I'm going to have to be honest. I am terrible. I couldn't tell you for the life of me what my most recent dream that I remembered was. And usually I wake up I'm not a morning person. Let's just put it that way.
Full of sweat.
It was either really good or really bad. In that way. I'm really not a morning person. It's all in the days and everything. By the time I've actually come to some kind of like normal state of mind, once I've had a coffee or two, the dream has long exited my brain and memory bank, unfortunately. So I have to say I don't actually have an answer, as it were, but that's what I'm going to have to say. Maybe there are people out there who are like me, just forgetful.
Well, there probably is, to be fair. Like I've had it before where you remember it and then you forget it later in the day. It's quite funny, isn't it, how the mind works?
Yeah.
I'm sure Ian writes his down in his
My dream journal.
My dream journal.
Unfortunately, Mark, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I very rarely remember my dreams. I can't remember what my most recent dream was. The last dream I remember was very random and involved, yes, I know, get ready with the beep beep beeps, me in a car driving, but I don't know where I was.
Germany?
I don't know who I was with. And I just know it. I wasn't here. I don't have a most recent dream. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, to be honest. I
Honest.
obviously do dream. Everybody dreams, but I can't really remember dreams often.
What about you, Mark?
I had a couple, actually. And these two have stuck in my mind.
Well, let's go
because they
through
were
all of them because we have the time tonight.
We got the time tonight.
Milo,
And if anyone
get your
knows,
notepad. Let's do an analysis here.
All right, hang on.
and if anyone knows what these dreams mean, can you please let us know in the comments below? And
We
please
do have a
advise.
couple of psychologists listening.
Ooh, interesting. Now, this isn't all. I don't want this to be just about my dreams, but it probably is going to end up that way. I rarely remember them as well, but I had one a couple of days ago, which was just very, very weird, and I felt that it's very hard to describe it without knowing how our garden is at home and the layout of it. But anyway, long story short, we're moving some plants around. We've got a few potted plants around. And it was nothing unseasonal, but there was a couple of plants that we had that had like spider webs on them, and that they were quite like developed webs on them.
Spooky theme.
Right,
But anyway, as we were moving them around, there was a couple of wasps caught in the webs. So, I don't like wasps, but I can deal with wasps. I don't like them
I think we
particularly.
gauged that from a prior poll, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they were like big, like not hornet size, but they were big wasps. But they were in these webs, and like we moved the plants, put them close to the house because we wanted to move, and we're like, well. And all I remember is these wasps getting out of the webs and getting into the house. And I felt like they were buzzing around me in the room, and it was freaking the hell out of me. And as I was moving in my sleep, because I could feel stuff on my face, it was very weird. It was the cat's tail. And she'd got up next to me when Lisa's been away. She must have just been like
Just flapping the tail on you. Jeez.
Flapping on me. Don't know why I was fixated on the wasps and that, but that was what I could feel, and my mind had associated them flying around with the feel of whatever it was, sort of thing. So that was the most recent weird nightmare. But I had a weird dream, Ian, one that me and you dream about all the time. I dreamt where I checked my YouTube. And I had 9,000 subscribers. And I went,
that's a nice dream.
9,000 subscribers.
That's just
nice
manifesting,
dream.
mate. That's just manifesting.
Yes.
It'll happen.
It's a window to the future.
Yeah, I realised pretty quickly that it wasn't the case whatsoever. But yeah, they're nice dreams, aren't they? When they
They're
happen
nice.
like that.
I was going to say,
They're
because
nice.
your most hated animal was actually a slug.
They're
But it's
horrible.
interesting you chose a garden. It
Yeah.
was in a garden for you. Rural.
It could go the other way when you talk about gardens as well.
Well,
Anyway, moving into the chat, Maz put, haha, eat plenty of shredded cheese before bed, and those dreams are crazy laughing emoji. And she remembers her dreams, but they're 18 plus. So, there you go.
interesting.
That might be a Patreon exclusive for anyone if it's not on the call tonight.
And then Sue has put, Ian is looking very preppy today.
Again, that is a
By the
Patreon
way.
exclusive who are on the live recording.
Yeah.
There you
Do you know
go.
what the dream question made me
pre-
think of? Do you remember James May, Our Man in Italy?
Mm.
And they had the dream, it was like a dream book that had every kind of thing you would dream about, had a reference and a number that you would then pick your lottery numbers from the dream you had after you'd eaten something in particular.
I like
So
James
I wonder if spider webs and
I was gonna
wasps
say,
are actually
if we
in the
look it
dream
up,
book. Yeah.
If we look up in the book what wasps in a spider web flying around your head and a garden would add up to, would you have won the Italian lottery this week?
Oh, I don't want to know now. That would have been that. Yeah, I missed a trick there.
Maybe we should ask the tripod.
Yes.
Francesco, can you do some reference? work out
Francesco, do
numbers
you
and
have
come
the
back to
dream
us?
book at home? If so,
the
can
dream
you just...
lottery book.
Dream lottery book.
I forget what it's called now. It's really annoying me.
So Kerry's just said in the chat, cheese dreams are the worst. What is it with cheese dreams? I eat so much cheese and still don't remember my dreams. Maybe I'm
They must be
eating
like
the
more
wrong sort
hardcore,
of
aren't they?
cheese. I don't know.
Maybe. They're meant to be hardcore, aren't they, cheese dreams? They're meant to be really out there, aren't they? They're meant to be hallucinogenic, isn't it? Cheese to dreams.
Wow. I'm definitely eating the wrong sort of
It's-
cheese then.
The Smorphia. Is that what it is?
Smorpheus.
Dream
Is
your
that,
ticket.
What? What? Milo,
So
seriously?
Sue's asking what this is going to be such a random show. Sue's
sort of
asking what
cheese are you
sort of
eating?
cheese am I eating? Well, generally it's either a cheddar or we have like a smoked cheddar in the UK called Applewood. And
Applewood's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Applewood is
yeah,
beautiful.
they're my two go-to cheeses. A really strong cheddar. And in the chat, there's also a link to the Dream Book.
Yeah, there you go. It is a Smorfia. It's a Neapolitan.
Wow, there we go. That was
That's
that
the
was
dream
it.
chat exhausted.
Well, that's a little bit of padding for the tonight show.
We're grateful. We'll take whatever we can get. Well, that is amazing. Moving out of that, getting to know you question. I mean, it could be into the Pokemon Go goodness. If Milo had gone, I dreamt that I was being chased by Togetic around my bedroom.
Oh, he's gone. What have you said, Mark? He's gone. Don't upset him about Togetic.
Bye, Milo. He's back.
Ian just shut me in the cupboard. I don't know what's going on.
The closet, mate. I'll shut you in the closet.
The closet. Okay, that's I'm now venturing out.
So from dreams and weirdness, we're going to go into probably the best event of the year. It's finished now as we're recording this, and my goodness, doesn't the game look cold and bleak, a bit like the weather
It
outside?
so does. You're right.
Halloween event. We've had 2 parts. We've played it all now. We've seen it all. I want a bit of a wrap up, guys. Dig deep. We've got the time. What did we do? What did we achieve? Talk about hundos, talk about shinies, talk about nundos, talk about whatever we got from it and what we preferred from it, maybe. I mean, it's probably going to be quite obvious what we preferred from it, but it might not be. And guys, part 2 was better, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Part 2 always is better because
Yeah.
all of the mons that they hold back in part 1, that everybody goes,
They haven't got this Pokemon in. They haven't got this Pokemon in. Why haven't they put Sableye in it?
they always hold the good stuff off to part 2. And this year we had a massive influx of costumed mons as well. So part 2 it has to be better, doesn't it? Because that is the part that hits over
Yeah.
Halloween.
shorter as well, isn't it? Part 2.
It usually is like about a day or so, but part 2, it was nice that everything had a shiny potential, although, as Ian saying,
Where's Sableye?
or other people were saying that Golett didn't feature in either
It
part.
didn't, and that's a shame because,
Sad.
of course, the shiny Golett was released
Yeah.
for Go Fest this year in New York. So it is a shame that Golett wasn't featured. Next year, I think we're going to see it, but that's sadly 51 weeks away.
Exactly, a fair while off. And we had some mad shinies to hunt in part 2. Obviously, load more costume stuff. They obviously did the traditional new Pikachu, a new Gengar. Seems to be new Gengar all the time as well, which is thematically correct, isn't it? I know that not everybody is a costume hunter, but I love a chase. Like, if it's something new and shiny to chase, it'll get me out there. I said last week that the Phantom quests were such a drive to go out and chase Pokestop tasks and
They
everything.
were, but in part 1, they were so common. In part 2, they were a lot rarer because there was other
They
things
were.
in the mix.
I found way more, what's it called? Miss Magius.
Oh,
tasks.
literally, that's the walk 1 kilometer, wasn't it?
No.
7
Oh,
great
7 great
throws.
throws. Walk 1K and 7 throws, they were so common.
Like Galarian Yamask, I can take as a
Your mask.
Yamask research reward because that's good. Not everybody has that shiny because I think last year it was only available in timed limited research and 7-kilometer eggs. And
Yeah.
I do have horrible flashbacks. Maybe that was my most recent nightmare, is those 7-kilometer eggs from 2022 that took, 300 eggs to hatch a shiny Noibat, and then they went February Community Day 2023. It's not
That
bad.
was brutal.
That was harsh, but Galarian Yamask was quite limited last year, and even this year, still quite limited, but the research task being more common was good. And Walk 1K is Walk 1K. It is what it is, which is a nice task. So part 2 was fantastic, I thought. But I don't know about you boys. Everything except the Gengar, and this is including Zorua, full on shiny. Let's just ask now. I chased Zorua. I saw or checked as many as I could, even driving around in the car.
Of course,
checked
you
nearly
wasn't checking while you
450.
was driving.
No, I was a passenger.
Yes, of course.
Legit
yeah,
a passenger. I had video evidence of it.
He wasn't in America, Ian. He wasn't in
Exactly.
America. He was doing it
I was
properly
sat on
in
the
the UK.
correct side of the car, but a passenger.
Yes.
I checked 450 or so over the course of the part 2 event, as many as I could see, and quite a few of them annoyingly ran away. Problem catching Zorua for some reason, but I didn't get the shiny.
Neither did I.
No. What about you, Marky?
There was so many of them around. I'm just
So
checking.
many
I didn't
around.
get the shiny. I checked about 230.
I couldn't tell you how many I checked.
I made a little mental note of what I had before. Just check it now. Yeah, didn't get it. And I only know one person that's got it. Sort of from people I play with. So it's probably it's going to stay in the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
Zuru is not going away. It's just going to be rarer.
I'd argue this is probably the second rarest shiny in the game now.
I'd say it's
Zorua,
alongside
potentially?
Kekleon.
Yeah,
that
similar
era
sort of
of
thing.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah, just
That
being
sort of tier, isn't it?
super
Yeah.
hard to find.
Or Ditto.
And the normal
Similar to
rate.
Ditto.
Well, I guess so. That's the only thing is like Ditto's.
Ditto was guaranteed.
No, I
there
mean,
wasn't it,
if
in
you
the
find a
ticket?
Ditto now, it can
Oh.
still be shiny. But
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Sorry, good point.
That's the thing. But it's like Ditto can spawn as a few other Pokemon, whereas Kecleon's kind of rare, and Zorua is just a very
Zoro
rare
is just
spawn.
your buddy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very rare spawn. It would have been nice. Let's just throw it out there. It would have been nice if Zorua was slightly boosted for the event, but in a way they're
the
keeping
I was
tripod
going
it
to say,
got
rare.
it.
check the
The
chat.
tripod
The
got it, didn't
tripod
he?
got it. Yeah, he's
I know,
flexing in the chat.
I
Yeah,
know. He
yeah.
was being really smug after I played solidly for 25 hours non-stop and not getting it. And then he got it while I was asleep. And I thought,
But didn't he play a lot of the day with you?
not as much as he should have.
Oh, Francesco.
Come on, Francesco. Know your role. Know your role, Francesco.
To be fair,
Oh.
Francesco
Jesus.
doesn't get anything out of playing that they get for 25 solid hours.
Oh, exactly. No, yeah, why would you? Why would you be that insane?
So we're going from Zorua then.
Mhm.
Let's maybe segment it. I like this actually. So costume Pokemon for the event were full odds as well. Is that correct?
Yes, apart from the Gengar, because the Gengar being a mega raid boss, it's like a 1 in 64. But everything else, is that for the Italian?
Yeah. Let's discuss costumes then. So I'll start. I didn't get a single shiny costume Pokemon this Halloween event.
They are full odds. That's the problem.
They all eluded me, and I know people that have got the Pikachu.
Hmm.
I've seen quite a few of the Pikachus actually, and the Gengars. But I didn't raid really for it either. So that's
I
probably
didn't
why
raid for the Pikachu either.
I will say, boys, our podcast did me proud. My shiny Gengar came off Incensed.
There you go.
Oh,
It's my
lovely!
game.
Fantastic.
It's
but,
my game.
but I will say, you guys know that the costume Piplup came out for
Yes.
the Halloween event when we were all at Liverpool Safari Zone.
did, yeah.
It's eluded me for 2 years and I finally got it this year.
It's
So
my
it's one of those
game.
things,
It's
it being
my game.
stacked. It may take X amount of years to get it. If it comes back and makes a return, that's fair play, keeping it full odds in my view.
There's more
But-
flexing in the chat.
Of course there is. Of course there is. I'm not even going to look.
So the tripod is saying, I got all the costume Pokemon from this event and Zorua.
Yeah.
He was raiding a lot though.
What's
wasn't he?
the
Was our
Italian for smug
Francesco.
git?
Hang on.
Well, I'll tell you something, boys. When we used to record on Thursday nights, I got my shiny Piplup with a costume in 21 when we were doing the show.
Oh, yes.
So I remember when we were doing it, I was going, yes, it was a lot. It was a spawn.
Oh, yes.
I'm just looking at it now.
Yes, yes,
Almost
yes.
2 years
2
today.
years almost to the date. Fabulous.
Fabulous. But no,
Yeah.
you got Gengar and Piplup, Milo. Ian got Pikachu.
I also got Vulpix and Pumpkaboo.
Oh,
But that's the thing.
blimey.
They were also spawns last year. So it's like enough checks down the line, you may get it, but it's still their 2022, themed costume Pokemon. Didn't get the Pikachu from this year.
So the likelihood is that one's probably not going to come out again.
That one won't come out for next year's event. Very unlikely to. And I'd almost say that with how it's been structured, Piplup might be booted from next year's spawn pool as well.
Oh.
We want the return of Litwick at Sableye from 2020.
Yes.
Where's that thing? Come on. I'd love to see that come back. Bring it back for 24.
So when was that one out?
That was
it
2020, yeah.
Oh my!
It's the only time it's been
seriously?
available.
I didn't know it was that
It's
long
probably
ago.
not coming back.
Time
If
moves
it's in
fast.
3 years, it's probably not coming back.
I know. Well, maybe they just forgot about it. I don't know.
Jesus, I thought that was only maybe a couple of years ago. Yeah, 2020,
Yeah.
Mile. I've got one.
Yeah.
I've got literally got. I kept one.
Oh, and breaking news, we have the translation for smug git in Italian.
Idiota compiaciuto.
Fabulous.
As what he said.
That sounds like the crown that Duskull and Cubone were wearing.
Ken Pescator.
Yeah.
Love you, Ken.
Ian, you got the shiny Pikachu on the costume. Did you get any other costume shinies?
The Pumpkaboo, which had the little hatty thing, didn't it? Is that a costume?
Pumpkabunda.
Pumpkabunda.
Yeah, hat and
Yeah,
bow
had a little
tie.
hat on it. We've got the Yamask, which glaring Yamask, which was the second one that needed Stats Family Complete, and then I'm erasing the Meowth from existence because the glaring Meowth, I really shouldn't have got that during part one.
We had two parts of it, and I know we didn't talk about this last week, and we've had more appearances now. So, Phantom.
Don't.
Talk to me about
Don't.
Phantom. Oh, okay.
Why not?
Because I'm pretty sure out of the three of us, I'm the only one that doesn't have one at all.
That's the thing, is that part one was super heavy on the field research tasks and barely appearing in the wild. We talked about that last week. This time round, definitely saw more of them in the wild, but the research tasks were few and far between.
Research task
they
was
were.
so rare for part two.
But I don't think it was enough of a boost in the spawns to justify the lack of field research tasks in a way. It was sort of, I almost feel part one for Phantom was better because you could hit all the research tasks back to back to back to back to back. Whereas wild spawns, because there were so many other things in the pool and everything, you can't really chase the Phantom. Plus, there were the newer costume shinies, etc., that people were chasing, and Zorua, etc.
It was
agree.
nice to see Phantom more common during part two, but I think you said it perfectly, Milo. The boost in wild spawns didn't balance out the loss of the research ones.
So Ian, you didn't get the shiny. I did get it on Spotlight Hour.
What's Spotlight Hour again?
Exactly. So I was very fortunate to get it then, and it was in the last 15 minutes of Spotlight Hour I managed to get it. Milo, did you get a second one?
No second Phantom, despite however many checks. Because I got my shiny quite early in Spotlight Hour last week, about 17 minutes in. And there was a further 300 plus checks, plus all the ones for this event. It just didn't sparkle again. But at least we have the Dia de los Muertos event that will have happened already for anybody listening. So maybe another shot at it before it disappears for another year.
You've got another day
He's
and a
only
half.
off of daily incense.
You had another day and a half.
Yes.
I was going to say, guys, I mean, Ian, you did well on the day you played. I saw that. You got 3 shinies. You probably got one of the rarest ones.
The Pikachu was properly out of left field because the walk I was on, it doesn't have masses of spawn, but it's just nice and peaceful. So it was actually quite nice to get that one, to be fair.
Quite rural,
It's a
isn't
good
it?
catch.
It's like a country park, so yeah, pretty much. We managed to get a few stops on that walk, but we've run out of things we can submit now. So
No.
No, I just got bombarded with one Pokemon that shined for me consistently
Sableye. That's
throughout.
because you kept tapping on the bloody thing.
Yeah, I got 4 shiny Sableyes.
Jeez.
My last 4 shinies were all Sableye. It's absolutely brilliant. I had a Drifloon as well. It was very golden for me. It was a very yellow
Halloween
shiny
That
stash.
just reminds me of Johto Tour when Chansey was spamming me and I caught 10 in like the 2 hours.
You get those shinies
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
sparkle for you constantly. Mine this event has been your mask.
You may ask.
Just ridiculous.
You mask.
I had 2 inside of like a couple of hours with checks. And then Spotlight Hour today. I got 1 before the Spotlight Hour started, 1 during, and then 3-4 checks later, Galarian Yamask from research. Okay, Yamask, if you want to sparkle, you can sparkle, sunshine.
Sparkle.
Sparkle away.
Sparkle. Ian, you got one off the research, didn't
The
you?
Galarian
Your
was only available for
Yamask.
research. Yes, that's the one
Yeah.
I got. Yeah,
I did get it the first time it came out on the research, but I couldn't believe it. I got 2 hundo Galarian Yamasks from research, the 420, the infamous 420 CP on those. But yeah, I listen, don't you?
No.
No, Ian. But no, I didn't. I was very, very fortunate. I am. When you look back at Pokemon in your game, you forget about them. And I mean, I forget. There was loads of. There's too many things there to remember all of them. But I actually raided for that Galarian Yamask and got a shiny from a raid the first time it came out. That's mental. That is from Germany, Ian. Maybe that's going to create a weird dream for you tonight, and you can share it with us next week.
I have
shiny
had dreams
Galarian
about
Yamask,
Germany, but we're not going to talk about them on a family-friendly podcast.
Even with Yamask involved.
Galarian
There
Yamask.
was there were no masks involved.
It's sad, isn't it? It's ended now, though, isn't it? I mean, I love the detail, and again, maybe this adds a bigger piece around. Can the game look better in between events now? I know there's a lot of work on the map, haven't they? Because I remember the sky used to be very.
It used
no
to be
real
bland.
detail
Yeah.
there. It used to be so bland in it, and I've got to admit that some of the capture, even look at the darkness of the skies and the sort of, it just looked so good, didn't they? During that event, especially with the pumpkins and the backdrop.
Exactly. It just looks very bland, and it sort of makes me think, can they do maybe like a seasonal change or something, or bigger events? I'm thinking like Festival of Lights. They could have easily Diwali references and all that sort of stuff. Lights around Fashion Week could have some other bits and pieces. It would be a lot of extra work.
This is the thing that they're not going to put that much extra.
No, but it would pay off, I think. Certainly for events that last more than a week, perhaps, which these days there aren't many of.
No, most of them are at 4 days.
And I guess speaking of things that didn't last very long, Shadow Shiny Lugia.
Didn't even raid for it.
Oh,
Didn't even raid for it.
Didn't even raid for it.
That's because I was busy all weekend editing the podcast and fixing problems with the podcast.
With the muted audio tracks.
I tried with Shadow Lugia, but I've got to do a bit more work on it, I think. Showcases, there's 25 plus people in most of the main showcases, but when you start trying to communicate about the raids and go through Campfire and go through the local boards on like Facebook and places like that, just no one's doing them. And I don't know if that's generally the area or it's generally what's on offer. I was a bit frustrated that I didn't get the chance to even do one raid for Shadow Lugia. Because I wanted it. I did want it. I generally it was actually one I was actually quite excited about, and I put time aside, 2 or 3 hours having a go at it. But these shallow raids, in-person raids, are just always going to be my downfall, I think, unless I just have to get out of the town and go somewhere else.
Looking in the chat, Mark, even if you had raided it, you might have struggled to get the shiny because so many people are saying that they just didn't get the shinies from raiding it. Barside said, did 30 plus Lugia raids, no shiny. 4 of us in a car, only 2 shinies in total.
Wow.
There was a similar story, I think, in the local crew here of a lot of people. You had to jump in cars to go and chase the raids. It's a raid weekend, not a raid day where everything has a tier 5 shadow egg. There were lots of other rubbish, bloody shadow Nidorino popping up all the time. I mean, those shadow tier 3 eggs were persistent. Trying to chase it, I got lucky with my shadow shiny after maybe 8 raids. But trying to do those 8 raids was actually amazingly tricky because, as we've always said, people don't have the same time frame or the same schedule, so you can't always congregate the number of people, particularly Lugia being a tanky.
I think Barside had it best. If you get 4 people, possibly 5 in a car, and just go and just smash them out that way.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Really, you need people in the car to go and smash the raids, do a designated time. But even then, you could do 45 plus raids and get nothing, like a lot of people.
Yeah, the
including
tripod
Francesco.
said that. Yeah.
Just didn't get it. And part of me thinks that they thought that this would be very similar to Shadow Mewtwo many months ago. But
that was a disaster though, because they weren't spawning either.
They weren't spawning, but Shadow Mewtwo, people know it has much more of a draw.
That's because it's Mewtwo, yes.
It's Mewtwo, it's actually usable, whereas Shadow Lugia is not the Apex one that we got through special timed research. Apart from getting the shiny, once people have the shiny, they're done. And very quickly, the numbers will drop off.
Indeed.
So we've said for a long time that the Shadow raids being in-person locked only is, I think, a bit iffy. Putting something for 2 days like that. No idea if and when it's going to come back. It could be a year, it could be 2 years.
I think putting it for 2 days was the right call because otherwise people would just farm them. And just look at the numbers people did in 2 days. So I think limiting the amount of time people can raid it, whilst it is prohibitive, it does. And again, there's been a lot of talk over the last year about balancing the game board, and it does limit the number that people potentially can get.
Balance.
Well, John Hank has been in the news again this week, hasn't he?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, because Lugia's gone now, isn't it?
2 days.
Lugia's gone. It's not
gone.
At this point, we don't know what the Shadow Tier 5 boss is going to be in November, if at all. You guys will listening, hopefully.
Well, because normally with the November release, they say what the Shadow raids are going to be, but I don't think they did in that infographic last week.
But moving from the Shadow raid weekend, the other part of Halloween Part 2 was obviously the Team Rocket takeover. I don't know, I was quite hyped by the new selection of Pokemon. Did you guys see there was this nice surprise one in Hisuian Sneasel thrown into the mix?
Didn't have time to do any.
Every balloon that came to me had nothing good in it. There was nothing. I didn't get a Bastiodon, didn't get a Shieldon, didn't get a Drillbur.
I did get a couple of Amsterdam Gaslies.
Nice.
But I was so annoyed though, because I didn't know about that cheat until after I'd done my Shadow Regigigas, where you could have held on and just done decoy grunts for Shadow Bellsprout.
Yeah.
And I was gutted because I just gone straight and did it. And then I was like, I missed the trick there.
The other thing is Shadow Bellsprout is actually available from the normal grunts as well, from grass. It's still a selected spawn. Now, it's interesting, Mark, talking about the selection This was something I found as well. And when I looked at it, someone did an infographic. I can't remember who, but they listed what's available from every grunt. And you look at some of them, it's like the rock grunt and the electric grunt have 5 Pokemon that you can get from them, and 3 of them are terrible. They're the ones you're going to get. So I was going to ask a question of, do we think that with a rock nowadays, with a Team Rocket takeover, they rotate the Shadow Shinies and they add new stuff in, but I think they should pull some Pokemon from the pool at this point. They should actually do a proper rotation and make it seasonal. And say, like, these 3 months, you can get this Shadow Pokemon from this grunt, but then next 3 months down the line, you won't. You'll get something else.
That would make sense because the pool is getting very diluted at this point. So it would make sense if they did that, but people just want everything, don't they? So I'm guessing the masses will probably enjoy
I don't know, like,
the randomness.
the thing with grunts, though, is that because the stats can vary so much, you know, you could get yourself a nice, 3-3-3 or 4-4-4 terrible stats, or you could get yourself a Shadow Hundo. The range of what you get from these grunts is so massive that 3 months to chase a Shadow, like maybe put 2 Pokemon into the grunt rotation, that's enough to keep people chasing. You know, I've always thought that Team Go Rocket is quite a passive part of the game, that it's always there, you can do it for free and just keep chugging along.
Yeah, I think with Team Go Rocket, you're probably in one of 3 camps. You either love them and do them all the time.
Yeah.
You'll only do them when there's something really that you want, or you're not bothered and you only do them just to get through the research.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I think I really don't know. I mean, I don't like raiding grunts. I find it really laborious, and I find it just an aspect of the game that I don't really enjoy. I was just getting sick of getting the same old rubbish just coming to me. And even when I was spinning them on stops, it was the same old rubbish. You know, I've only got a Ghastly. That's the only new one I've got. How long are they out for? Are they out for a while still?
Oh, they'll be in the normal grunts.
They'll be in the rotation
They'll
now,
be in the
yeah.
regular grunts now until the next Team Rocket takeover, when they'll probably add even more Pokemon into the pools to make it spread out. There's very little else playing Pokemon Go that's as disappointing as going, ooh, there's a Fire-type grunt here. It could be either the brand new Litwick Shadow, it could be the funny Shadow Vulpix with the Halloween costume glitch thing, which is quite fun and rare, or a Numel. And then you get the Numel, just instantly back out. And I don't know. They must be able to see that data of people backing out of battles
they will.
and stuff.
They'll have the analytics from that.
I don't understand. Why keep Numel in there? There's no love for Numel.
There isn't, there's no shade to Numel, because we like Numel, but not for this
No, we
length
like
of
Mega
time.
Cameras.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, was that Vulpix a glitch then,
Yeah,
Rhino?
there's a bit like the Shadow Shinx last year with the Fashion Week, where the costume bleeds over to the Shadowmon, and it's just like, it's an interesting rare. If you got a Hundo Shadow of it, that's super duper rare.
I evolved mine because I thought it looked pretty dope.
There's the Ninetales, nice.
I didn't realise that was a glitch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little bit. Yeah, the game looks rubbish now, so I'm kind of like, why have they ended Halloween event at 8 p.m. on Halloween? This is where it's the proper end of Halloween. It should be till midnight, shouldn't it?
It should
We've
be.
talked about this so many times. That's just when the events finish, isn't it? Like they always start at 10 a.m.
They could have kept it rolling. Actually, they could have kept it rolling over to Wednesday at 10 a.m. and then it switched immediately to Dia de los
They
Muertos.
could, but then it's not Halloween anymore, is it? Once it passes midnight.
All right, Ian. It's technically Halloween still now, and it ain't in the game. So it being
People
in the
still
game when it's
trick-or-treating
not
out
Halloween
there.
makes no odds.
And they're
Yeah.
looking at their game going, where are the pumpkins on the capture screen?
I'm sure the kids trick or treat aren't looking at Pokemon Go.
Probably not. Any other notable things then for the Halloween event, boys? I can't really think of anything other than what we've already spoken
No,
about.
only Mimikyu for next year, please, Niantic.
Yeah, I was expecting that this
Yeah.
year. It would be nice. Please let's see it next year.
And then Shiny Mimikyu in 2025. That's a nice little wrap up of Halloween. And actually, that's quite a little bit of time past that. That's a
Good work.
bonus. Good work. It could work. But yeah, let us know. Share with us as well. When you listen to the episode, reach out to us on X and our social media posts. Let us know what you thought about the event. Going from an event that's now finished, we're going to go into something about the future.
Is the news.
Boys, our favourite mushroom is getting a sparkle. It's good news. It's really good news. So, the Festival of Lights is becoming a reoccurring event, starting on Tuesday, November the 7th at 10 a.m. and running through till Sunday, November the 12th at 8 p.m. your local time. Not only are we getting a new shiny, boys, we've got a brand new Pokemon, quite similar to the Halloween event. It's a Generation 9 Pokemon, Tadbulb, and then its evolution Bellibolt, which a cool Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. New Pokemon debut and shiny Morlul is coming to the game, which is awesome.
It was awesome, and I think we alluded to that fact a few weeks ago. We said it felt like it needed to be released. We couldn't see how it was going to get released, could we? As we were going through the seasons, and well, there we go. We did actually say Festival Lights, didn't we? Because this was released for Festival Lights, wasn't it? Originally,
well, I think Morlul was the first Pokemon where it had an ambient glow and the night format of the game. So it was the first one that actually had lighting effects on it, and then they've obviously brought that forward with the Halloween pumpkins at Pokestops and various other aesthetic aspects of the game. But boys, we've got some, well, we don't like eggs, but if you do like eggs, these event bonuses are just for you. So 2 times Stardust for hatching Pokemon and 2 times candy for hatching Pokemon, and they're doing us actually quite nice on this one. Incense excluding daily adventure incense activated during the event will last twice as long. We really need the content for next week, boys.
Nice.
There's going to be timed research, event exclusive. It will be available throughout the event, and complete it before the event is done. Focus on exploring and catching Pokemon, and complete research tasks to earn an event exclusive avatar item and encounters with themed Pokemon. And it's a nice subtle t-shirt for your character. You know, I don't know if it's exactly the same as last year, but hey ho.
It's different, I think.
You're funny, you are. We're just giving nice.
Because it's a nice t-shirt.
It's a lovely t-shirt, actually. A bit tie-dyed. It's similar to one of our designs on the American store.
Yeah, it's not dissimilar on the American store. Exactly. Check out the Incensed podcast merch. Why not? The following Pokemon will be available for you in the wild encounters. So, we've got Pikachu looking very depressed with no costume.
We have Vulpix with no costume.
We've got Ponyta with no one-hit wonder Valor costume.
Valor, what is it, Neckerchief?
Neckerchief, yeah.
Magnemite that one day probably will get a costume.
Everybody's favourite ball, Voltorb.
Chinchu that Ian got a shundo of in Liverpool, but he was still downplayed it.
He'll be chasing XLs for that one. One that may or may not be getting a future Community Day Classic later this month is Mareep.
A Pokemon that Mark has nightmares about, Slugma.
I do. Actually, I love this one. Shiny Electrike, one of my favourites.
You'll be salty. I just got one from the nest this evening, shiny.
Is it a nest again, is it?
Yes, a nest in Warpon. I got one randomly this spotlight hour. And everyone's favourite Kendall, Litwick.
Is that wearing a Sableye hat?
Sadly,
yeah,
not.
And some trainers might even encounter the following. Note that they no longer say if you're lucky. With the new shiny Morlul
you're not lucky.
and Tadbulb.
In the little asterisk, it does say for the first time in Pokemon Go, you'll be able to encounter shiny Morlul if you're lucky.
Oh,
so they've moved it to really small text now.
It's in the small print.
These 7-kilometer eggs that are going to give you double dust and double candy for the following Pokemon. Apparently, Morlul hatched from eggs will have a greater chance of being shiny than in the wild. Do not pay attention to that sentence. It is a lie. It has never worked. But the Pokemon you can find in these 7-kilometer eggs are Elekid, Magby, Dedenne, and Morlul. Seriously, boys, that line, again, haunts me about Noibat from last year's Halloween. And Helioptile from wherever it was the Crackling Voltage event this year. And there was some other event this year where they said, increase shiny chance in the eggs. It never works. So as we always say on the show, do as we say, not as we do. Don't hatch the eggs.
Yeah. They did it with, what's the one that evolves to Jellicect? Oh, they did the male and female ones,
Frillish.
Didn't they? And that was boosted as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Supposedly.
It's always just a sentence, but a lie. Boys, our podcast has its own encounter pool. So we've got what Ian and I like to call the
freeway.
The Dutch rock
road trip, man.
It's a Lowland Geo, dude.
The only one other than the brand new Pokemon that can't be shiny, it's the Hisuian Voltorb.
I'm sure if that gets a community day, you will be travelling around the world.
We
to do
did
that
say
one
we'd
as well,
go back
boys.
to Belgium or Holland to do another community day at some point.
And that'll be for Hisuian Voltorb.
Defo.
The one that does give me nightmares, because I've traded for both of these, it is shiny Slugma potential.
We've also got Volbeat.
Illumise is in the pool, which is nice to see.
Please, you said that one, Ian. We've got Blitzel.
We've got Litwick again.
We have Litleo, which is a pretty regular little mon popping up in these things.
We have got Dedenne, the little chocolate mouse, potentially.
Good luck for that. We have got our favourite shroom. It is Morlul.
And as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, Tadbulb can also spawn. But again, it's a new mon. It can't be shiny.
So we also have, yes, you're right, we've got field research task encounters as part of this
Yay.
event. Yippee-yay! Yippee-ki-yay! We're getting to that time of year, Ian. The following
Soon.
Pokemon... Not long now.
Best Christmas movie ever.
Absolutely. D is for Die Hard. The following Pokemon will be
Yippee-ki-yay,
available. Y is for Yippee-ki-yay, MF. The following Pokemon will be available to encounter when you complete field research tasks. Interestingly, Darumaka is in there. A Morlul, both that can be shiny. And we've got the new Pokemon Tadbulb again.
And if you do get yourself probably an XXL Tadbulb from either the wild spawns or the field research encounters, good news is that we'll have Pokestop showcases. So keep an eye on your showcases. Litwick will also be able to be featured, apparently.
And don't forget, if you like to keep your avatar stylish, there will be new avatar items available to purchase in the in-game store during this event, and they will continue to be available after the event ends. And actually, to be fair, I think I prefer the free T-shirt to the
one in the
that you
shop,
buy.
Yeah, so do I. I like the pink tie-dye better. But good news for trainers in India. We know we have people listening to the
Ketty
podcast
Spikes,
in India.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So trainers located in India can look forward to a special collection challenge. That's a bit minimal. I was expecting to get more, a bit like the Dia de los Muertos event. This collection challenge will award Stardust, XP, an encounter, an singular counter with
one,
one with Tadbulb, and they can earn twice the candy for catching Pokemon during the Festival of Lights event. That's not a bad bonus. But the final bit of text, boys. Also look forward to a raid day on November the 11th.
Which is
Yet
very
to
vague
be
because it gives
announced.
no more hints in there.
No more hints. There are rumours as to what that could be.
There are rumours which we alluded to what we've heard unofficially last week. Yeah, shark.
Chomp.
Chomp.
So, boys, that is the Festival of Lights for 2023. This is the third time we've had this event from memory.
Yep.
What do we think? Just from the outline.
The theming of the event certainly seems to be on point. If we don't say anything else, that is a bonus. I'm not really sure of all the spawns, but the theme around the Festival of Lights definitely seems to be there.
Yeah, I think it does what it says on the tin, doesn't it? It's loads of Pokemon that have that sort of light effect about them, doesn't it?
It'd be nice if we saw sort of fireworks and light in the game. I'm sure we possibly will do.
Yeah. I like the fact that Mulnul seems like it's going to be a chase, doesn't it? I think there's loads of opportunities potentially for what the game's saying to encounter it, but we know that doesn't necessarily mean it will be the case when you play the game. I like the fact that however you like to play the game, that it looks like there's a route for you to try and get it. I mean, that's the chase, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shiny Mulnul.
Yeah.
You're right, Mark. I mean, Wild Encounters, it seems to be in the rarer tier, but it is also available in eggs and on the Incensed, so...
And in research as well.
And in research as well, so there are definitely options to get the new shiny. But let's face it, it's going to be full odds, so you're going to have to put some work in, unless you're Italian.
In which case the shiny will just present itself to you. It does look like, as Ian says, does what it says on the title, really. All the Pokemon do follow a certain theme. I was thinking that there are surely more Pokemon that have like some kind of lighty up animation in some way that might, I don't know, work better than perhaps Electrike.
Well, electric, light, I suppose
Yeah,
it
maybe.
is.
Electric and fire. I'm just trying to pick a hole in it.
Yeah, I mean, the bugs, Volbeat, Illumise, they make sense. I'm not quite sure where Blitzel fits into it.
Oh, no, that does light up.
Does it?
That's the one of the Pokemon that does actually have a lighting effect on it.
It does like Pikachu does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Have Pikachu in an electrician's outfit. That'd be...
Yeah, I mean, at least I haven't done something stupid like put C dot in it. I mean,
That would be
look at
silly.
that then when you go, oh God, come on.
Oh, yeah, they could have put Lantern in it.
Yeah,
Well, they've got
That's the- that's
Chinchu
the
in there
whole-
for
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
I think it's all right, isn't it? It would be nice to have seen Zerkatry maybe appear in raids. You know, that would have been quite a nice touch.
you. That would have been very cool.
If they'd done something maybe like that, I'd be very left field. Maybe release shiny Zerkatry and Festival of Lights. Imagine that.
That would have been very much the chase in that case.
But Ian's right that they haven't got enough Pokemon. They've got to stagger these things out, and that'll be in 2034, won't it, Ian?
Indeed.
They're running out of Mons, unfortunately. They are running out of Mons. But Milo, that's not the only news we've got today, is it?
It is. It's the news.
Indeed, it is not the only selection of news today. This will be very, very short because it's just the announcement of another City Safari coming to, what's the pronunciation of this place?
Tainan?
Tainan in Taiwan.
Yeah.
And
Tainan Weir?
this is actually scheduled well ahead of time. It's going to be set March the 9th and the 10th of 2024. So we're already looking into live events for 2024.
And also, if we think about that, that's potentially going to be after Sinnoh Tour,
Indeed.
which hasn't been announced yet.
Immediately on the image, Skidoo is back again, which is interesting because that really does make me think that it might be
It might be
locked-
City Safari locked, yes.
locked to these City Safaris. There's Dino featured on there, and then there is Buffalant.
I'm not
which
going to
is an
fly to
interesting
Taiwan
regional.
just for a Buffalant. It's easy to get to New York.
I think it was better with Barcelona and the shiny Relicanth potential. But the event is the 9th to the 10th of March. It runs from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. the local time. You can purchase the tickets now. The City Safari hat Eevee will be making its reappearance through the research again, much the same. It's kind of the same thing. We've actually got the spawns for it though that will appear in the wild for the trainers who venture to Tainan are going to be Zubat,
Venonat, which I still need.
Ian's favourite Pokemon, Meowth.
a shiny regional in far-fetched Cantonian form.
Execute.
Lowen Executor.
Chinchu, Ian, I can see you buying your ticket immediately.
Oh, yes, I'm on that plane. Natu.
Oh, Ian's curious. He might
No,
do.
I just remembered that was a chase for Billy the Trainer Club for so long.
Well, we've got one that I don't need to be going over there to find. That's an A that can be shiny.
Does Francesco still need that, Milo?
Yeah, I think he might do, so he'll need to get the ticket. But one that I know we don't need is Unknown Eye.
Absolutely. Unknown T is also
I
available.
think we need that one, don't we?
I do.
Oh, you missed your Mond, Milo.
I've got Milo's second favourite Pokemon behind Wishy Washy.
Yeah.
That's Trico.
Absolutely. We've got Spoink as well.
We've got the horror balloon Drifloon.
We've got the little cute mouse.
Mouse?
Cute fish.
It's a funny looking mouse.
Finian.
We've also got Darumaka.
Yeah, one that probably not many people are going to want is Dwebble.
I don't understand why they haven't released this as a shiny yet. But Winterform Dealing.
Litwick's making an appearance yet again.
Yep. If you don't live in the New York area of America and didn't go to Worlds last year, you will be able to get Buffalant.
A Dino.
As we said earlier, Skidoo, with its shiny potential, seems to be locked into these City Safari events.
Good.
And the Festival of Lights, new release, which it won't be new by the time you get to Tainan. Morlul will be spawning as well.
So those are the wild encounters, and much like we experienced in Barcelona and people would have experienced in Seoul and people will be experiencing over this weekend in Mexico City, there are 7-kilometer eggs which will have Execute,
Buffalant.
Dino.
and Skidoo. So that is the Pokemon selection. It then goes on to all of the usual bonuses. It's basically exactly the same bonuses as for the other City Safaris, so I don't think there's too much point in us reading those out, to be honest.
No, but the only feedback I would probably give, and this is obviously from experience, I probably would not want to pay for the Raid Lover add-on, since the one that we did in Spain, no one was raiding.
That's the problem, is you're at the mercy. This is the key thing to know, and we talked about
mercy
it.
of what's in the raids at the time.
On the live Barcelona show, you are at the mercy because the raids are not connected to the City Safari. They're just global gameplay, so you're stuck with whatever happens to be in the raid rotation. Also, it may not be worth getting the Eggthusiast, just saying
No,
that.
because all of the hatches that we had were pretty dead over the whole weekend.
And you've got to remember, I know we say it all the time, 7-kilometer eggs are limited, and they weren't guaranteed actually at the City Safari,
weren't.
were they? They're
No.
not even guaranteed like they were for Go Fest with the egg drops from opening your gifts. So you can probably avoid the add-ons, to be honest.
Well, the only add-on I would recommend is the second day gameplay. So if you play on the first day, get the additional day if you want to make a weekend of it. That is the only add-on I personally would kind of recommend looking at this. And that's from the three of us having played this and giving genuine feedback from having done an event.
Indeed. 2 days, that was the best thing. 2 days to play the City Safari means that you don't have to rush around. You can actually enjoy what we think is the point of the City Safari, is experiencing the city itself, the location, and going around. You'll have the EV stops with the flowers at the bottom of them if you go into that. So I think it's great, boys, that they're doing more City Safaris, announcing it this far ahead. What was this, 5 months in advance, roughly?
Yeah, this is what we were talking about with people in the know in Barcelona, and people need time to plan for these things. So the fact that we've got, almost 4.5 months advance notice, it gives people the chance to book flights, hotels, and plan it properly rather than doing everything last minute, super rushed, and paying extortionate prices.
But on the back of this was one location that was hinted or leaked, etc., over Reddit.
There was gossip in Reddit that there were 3 rumored locations.
Yeah.
But this was one, so...
Yeah, Tainan was one.
If you do some digging, you'll be able to find the other 2 locations. They're quite freely available even now on X.
Yeah.
But if the other 2 rumored locations are the ones that
are rumored,
turn out to be fact, yeah.
Do you know what they're going to do though? I've got a feeling, because it's so far ahead and they've given like plenty of notice, and we're like 5 months of notice on this event. You can imagine them dropping a banger of a raid boss, can't you, just to spite people? You can imagine it kind of like,
it's one of those things. I know what you mean.
It's going to be like Mega Rayquaza will come back into raids for flipping that weekend.
Well, don't
or
forget,
something.
looking that far down the line, that we're not even into the Christmas, December, January, February season.
Yep. No.
March will be another season down the road.
Yeah.
And it will be after Sinnoh Tour. There's got to be some fresh content coming out, either shiny or maybe a new.
One would hope, because if you look
Pokemon
at that
in some way.
spawn pool, I can't, and I'm not being the sort of negative one here, but
Say
that
it though,
spawn pool does not make me want to travel
No.
to the Far East.
No, when the first Pokemon on the listing is Zubat, that was literally in the Halloween Part 1 event and has been out for donkey's years. It's a bit mad. I do agree.
But I genuinely think these city safaris are designed for people within the area. They're not designed for people to travel.
No, it's meant
across the
for
world
local, maybe people who fly.
The very fact that it's Tainan proves that it's more for local people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not gonna, there'll be people that still travel out to it.
Oh, they will. But looking at this, I would say there's nothing that differentiates this from the 3 city safaris we've had this year, really, other than the individual spawns and the regional.
You've got to take it with a pinch of salt and say, like, am I interested in traveling to a new place and experiencing this event, and maybe have a day or 2 either side to experience the city and the country?
Indeed.
Because, as we've always said with these live events, if you go there solely for Pokemon Go and blitz it, I mean, some people play that kind of live event that way. They do one day, get in and out, bish, bash, bosh. But we've always said that you can enjoy the location where these events are. And that's kind of what the City Safari is tailored to do.
Indeed. And as I said, when this type of event was released, this is in addition to the bangers, your safari zones, your Go Fests, your tour events like Sinnoh Tour next year. And honestly, I think I'd rather go to one of the big events than spend an absolute fortune to go to something which is kind of, to me, and this is just my opinion, like a B event.
But that is some future news sort of covered. I'll have to see how Festival of Lights actually plays out in reality. I don't know about you boys. I can hear some buzzing. Ian, is your phone on the desk vibrating heavily?
Something is.
Ian, you annoy me.
So we've actually had a couple of WhatsApp messages through. Now, these are quite short messages. They're quite to the point messages. And the first one actually came through during last week's recording from one of our very own Gold members, Kerry and Zachary.
Good evening, lads. It's Kerry and Zachary. We just want to say we absolutely love What's the Ducklet, and please play more. Thank you.
There you go.
Yes.
I think, Miley, you asked for people to feedback
I
whether they
did.
love it, and Kerry and Zachary were the only two that did. We saw that Sue Hermes Ninja in the chat said she loves it. So that's at
we
least
had
3
somebody
people
on
that
Instagram.
do. Jason Hawkins did send us a DM saying, I just really wanted to say that I like what's the Ducklet. It's What the Ducklet, but we'll let you off for that. It's a good game for playing along with at home.
Hey, that's very true, actually.
A lot of love for the Ducklet.
In all honesty, the only reason we're not fans of it is none of us know the Pokédex descriptions. Because I didn't play past Gen 2 on main series, and Milo's new to main series in Gen 9.
Yeah, exactly. And never look at the Pokédex entries.
So if we knew them, we'd probably be a bit more fond of it.
We'll bring it
Our
back.
second WhatsApp message. Now, we have a little Australian friend that likes to get on every podcast that he can.
Exists.
What? The Ducklet.
Oh, I did ask people to do their best impersonation of the jingle as well. Thanks, Lachlan.
Now, Lachlan.
Short but sweet, Ian.
Can we
You're
use
right
that
there.
as the new jingle?
Well, it's funny you should say that, Milo, because we're about to play a game. I was knighted last week by Mark. Apparently, I'm the game lord. So, we're going to play a game of...
What? The Ducklet.
So, 2 weeks in a row, let's see if people get sick of this game. So, we're going to play What the Ducklet again.
Can't wait for this.
What? The Ducklet.
Right, okay, so we're going to play first to 2. And, well, we're going to keep this themed, I think. Yeah, let's keep this themed.
I know it didn't help very much last time, so...
Probably not. It's head-to-head, so it's first to 2. So this could be a very, very quick game. Okay, so our first...
What? The Ducklet.
is... This Pokemon was first sighted at a company that manufactures Pokeballs. The link between that... sighting... Correct.
Pokeball. I'd say don't keep it themed in, just go completely wild with it.
All right, okay. Right, okay, so we're just going to scroll and see what lands on then.
Yeah.
Our second...
What?
Goodness sake.
The Ducklet.
Nicknamed the Bully of the Sea, this Pokemon is widely feared. Its cool fangs grow back immediately if they snap off. Just one of these Pokemon can thoroughly tear apart a super tanker.
Carvana?
Basculin?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not. Oh.
The Bully of the Sea.
The Bully of the Sea.
Sharpedo?
Oh!
It is
nice
Sharpedo.
one.
Yep. Great Pokemon.
Good
Love
call.
that
It
one.
is. It's a great Pokemon. That's JT's favourite, isn't it?
Oh, there we go. It's 1 point each.
Well, at least it's gone as long as it could the game, hasn't it?
Okay, so this is the decider. Our final...
What? The Ducklet.
Okay, and we've gone random. Its voice is staggering in volume. This Pokemon has a tendency to take on a threatening posture and shout. This move is known as and I'm not going to tell you its move.
Loudred.
Exploud? Shouting Pokemon.
Oh, is it the one that was released for... Oh, what's it bloody called?
Its voice is staggering in volume. This Pokemon has a tendency to take on a threatening posture and shout. This move is known as... Highbone and Francesco, you're both wrong in the chat.
I'm not looking. Not looking.
They're not helping you, don't worry.
No, I still want to see.
Would you like me to give you a clue?
Yes, please. Obviously, unless you've got it, Milo.
I really don't. Give us a clue, Ian. Go on.
This is a third evolution.
And it's not Exploud.
No.
The only thing I can think of is only because it's a third stage one, and I was thinking of Meloetta, but it's not Meloetta. I was thinking down that event thing. Is it something like Obstagoon or something like that? Like Zigzagoon.
It's Obstagoon.
It's Obstagoon.
Obstagoon.
Wow.
I don't know how you got from Meloetta to Obstagoon, Mark.
No, because it was on the same event, 'cause it was costumed, and I was thinking about the 3 stages, because as soon as the 3 stages, I was thinking of Meloetta with the music.
Yeah,
and
because
that,
they had
and
Zigzagoon with the
Zigzagoon was
little
it, but it was
Meloetta
only...
hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go. We have a
What was
winner.
the move?
Obstruct.
Oh, it is. It's called Obstruct.
Oh!
Would never have thought about that.
No, and if you said Obstruct, we'd have got there with that.
Well, congrats, Marky.
Congrats.
Because when he said third stage, I was like, I only just worked that mellow
I was
out.
like, what third stage could it possibly be?
So, Masterful27, I anoint you the Game Lord for Milo's show next week.
It's not quite such a good title.
It doesn't. It's lost a bit of
Majesty.
It's gravitas.
Yeah,
hasn't
exactly.
It? Oh God, the game lord.
The Game Lord.
Well, thank you, Ian.
Yeah, congrats. That was a damn good shout.
Hang on,
How's it
we've
going?
got to play it at least one more time.
Yeah.
What? The ducklet.
I really love
Bless
that.
him. I do as
I
well.
really
Should
love
we say that one on the soundboard?
Yeah, keep that as a secondary jingle.
I'll rename it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
saved
yeah.
us What the Ducklet Lachlan.
What? The ducklet.
Perfect. There you go, Lachlan. You finally made it forever onto the soundboard.
Until we have another purge.
Until we get sick of it, and trust me, we're not far off that now.
It was 3
But
weeks in a
anyway,
row.
What? The ducklet.
Ian, that's funny, that is. Oh, God. Well, we thought it was everyone's least favourite part of the show, but there's a lot of love for What the Ducklet to everyone's
What? The ducklet.
And if you want to hear more of Lachlan, tune in to the Starpiece podcast, which is on, I think, GoCast's feed.
It is, yes.
I think they've just released their second episode.
Woo!
Get past 6, then you're good.
Yeah, it's not easy. This podcast lark isn't easy. 143 weeks, and we've not missed a week. You know, that is...
We almost did this week. I was sweating on Sunday afternoon.
Oh, Ian.
No, for the listeners that don't know, because obviously not everybody listens immediately, we exported the episode after quite a bit of editing from Milo in the sort of latter half of the week and me on Friday night, Saturday morning. And I didn't check the export file that we uploaded, and there was basically sort of an hour and a half of just you and me talking, Mark, with Milo and another ginger that would...
Another ginger?
Like ghosts.
My ginger?
Sorry, a ginger.
A ginger, there you go.
Agent Ginger.
Agent Ginger.
So anyway, it took a while, but we did manage to fix it. And full disclosure, it's because my MacBook's dying.
So shout at Apple, people.
Yeah.
You can't shout at Apple. The MacBook's nearly 7 years old.
Well, exactly.
It's had a good life.
It's fine.
I just need
Shout
to...
at them. So
As Francesca
7-year-old
told me earlier, I
products.
just need to spend 7.2k on the M3 Pro
Yep.
fully stocked out one.
To be fair, though, Ian, when you said that, I thought it was like the next one up above 4K in terms of video quality when you said the 7.3K, but actually it's the price of it,
That
isn't
has
it?
a pound sign in front of it, yes.
Oh, ouch.
Susan, let's raise some funds. I need it. I really do.
Come on, listeners.
But seriously, Apple, if you want to just send me a...
If you want to subscribe to Ian Waterfall's Patreon, we've got a new tier. It's called the Apple tier. And
It's
if
only
you can donate him
7.3K.
£1,000, it's limited to eight lucky people. You can cancel it after a month, but it's £1,000.
Jeez.
Do your best.
I would love to, but it's not.
No. But we're going to go now to everyone's favourite part of the show. It's Shiners of the Week.
What? The ducklet.
Shines of the week.
Yeah, so I think that's how we all feel after hearing that jingle about 10 times.
Very much done. Very much done. I have to give a massive shout out to Edinburgh 666 on
You mean
X.
Edinburgh?
It's not Edinburgh.
Yeah, Edinburgh.
Edinburgh 666, who has written in saying, OMG, double exclamation mark, Halloween costume piplup shundo.
What?
Cannot believe my luck. Hashtag Pokemon Go, hashtag blah, 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 hashtag Shiners of the Week, hashtag Shundo. And yeah, it is a Shundo Halloween costume piplup caught on the 27th of October. That is one, that's from Scotland. It's a Scottish Shundo piplup. Perfect.
Next up, we have Guy at Galarian_Guy. This is the one that we were talking about earlier that literally not many people have got, but I'm sure Mark will correct us later with the poll results. But caught this little beaut, maybe he's Australian, caught this little beaut off the Go Plus on my way to work whilst listening to at Incensed podcast Barca episode. It was a dull, blue, rainy day, but at least this blue brightened it up. Love it, mate. Hashtag Shiny of the Week, hashtag Shiny Pokemon, hashtag Pokemon Go. And it is, yeah, you guessed it. It's a Shiny Zorua. And it is a cute little one. Yeah.
That would
Well
definitely
done,
brighten
guy.
up your day.
GG's.
Nice one.
Yeah, GG's. Initiate smug mode.
Smug mode engaged.
Well, I've got one here from Instagram. It's from Ryman Paul 1481. Ryman Paul says, wasn't able to play a lot lately due to the new job.
I know the feeling.
First-hand experience.
But this is where Ryman has or Paul has put you to shame here. He hasn't been able to play a lot due to a new job, but he got 2 shinies. 2 shiny phantoms. Well done, my man. These dead children's souls look amazing. Hashtag shinies of the week. Hashtag Incensed podcast. Well done.
That's very nice. Shut the segment away. We should just give a shout out to Hermes Ninja Sue in the live stream chat, who, while listening to us do this recording, incensed a shiny phantom.
Well done, Sue.
Which is smashing.
Not
jealous at all.
Not jealous at all.
Well done indeed. That's epic, isn't
Gold tier Patreon luck.
Yeah. So some great shinies of the week there. But Milo, what's that behind you? Is it?
What? The ducklet.
I don't think so. It's much more majestic.
Oh, it is. It's.
Stop tickling my shoulder with it, goodness sake.
Oh dear. I'm waiting for next week. We're gonna have Lachlan doing that with ooh, what the Mark's poll, and I'll be like, oh no.
You know, Lachlan could just re-record all of our jingles.
Don't give him ideas.
Don't give him ideas.
You do realize that's going to be on
Coops.
the WhatsApp phone in about 3 days' time.
They'll all
Every
jingles will be
jingle,
there next week.
My poll is here, and we had a good showing, actually. It was a nice little one. It's a big, majestic poll, but we had a little timeline on it because we didn't have much confidence this show was going to be more than 35 minutes. Somehow it's one of the longest recordings.
Yeah, so how the hell have we been recording for nearly 2 hours?
I know. It's just absolutely crazy. The question was, so, did you get shiny Zorua during the Halloween Part 2 event? We had 91 people jump on.
That's not a little poll.
It's not a little poll indeed.
It's a big meaty poll.
We had some comments, and I like the comments. So Kiwi Steve 007 says, was lucky to get it, but definitely in the minority. Hopefully get to another event with an actual boost made for April Fools like Ditto had last year.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That could happen. Lachlan, who we haven't heard much from tonight, Lachlan Firth has put, yes, I did.
What? The ducklet.
He did. He got it. Live School Bet UK. Oh no, that's an advert. Okay, I thought they'd just click to our post. Maury Suzanne, great supporter of all our content on the podcast.
Yes.
Smiley face, thumbs up, and shiny symbol. Yes, got that one as well. Ghastly Girl. I got super lucky and got mine from research. Had so many time research going. I forgot which one, but happy nonetheless.
That's insane. One check.
That is insane.
One research check.
There's always somebody, but that is GG's Ghastly Girl, yeah.
Yeah. Maston has put, no, see how sad I am, and a little gif of a piggy looking quite sad.
I'm with you, mate.
Bless it. There's a guy here called I Am Prius, and he's put,
I am Prius.
hello. My
name is Shiny Zorua.
Yeah. Hello, my buddy Blue Rua XXL is saying hi at the Incensed podcast with a little party face. Well, we're saying bye as I scroll past it.
Two-fingered salute.
Yeah, Kerry Young has put, nope, no shiny, but Zachary got a level 1 Nundo Zorua.
Ooh.
His pride and joy at the moment. Well, I think that is.
Nice.
Keen Brown has put, part 2 was frighteningly better than part 1. Somehow tripled the amount of shinies I got from part 1. Yeah, I think he must have only got 1 on part 1, so that's 3. Well done, the Keen. I'm only messing, he hasn't said. And that's after donating blood. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe you are, but it doesn't look like you got the shiny Zorua.
I didn't know there was a connection between Niantic and the NHS.
Oh, no, that's another sponsored advert, sorry. It was the key. Well, Lucy Davis has put, nope, should have. Was it 1 in 64 for Zorua?
Zorua? No, it was supposed 1 in 500.
Yeah, I think Lucy's what she's saying is she didn't get it, but it should have been at 1 for 64 for the event.
It should have been boosted, really, but...
I think so, yeah.
Someone called Sue Hermes Ninja, first-time messenger, smug face, smiley face, and a lovely-looking Zorua sat next to her in-game. Yeah,
fabulous.
GG's.
Mazdos, Osmer Lionheart has put, yes, sir, and the hard way, but the hunt is on for the second catch to have the shiny family completed. Has got the Zorua. Mike Lucas has put a gif of Pikachu shaking its little head, saying, no, but I will be in the next event looking a bit more cheerful. Lucy Silver Nope, no shiny Phantom either, but hatched a shiny G Slowpoke today, though. And then Run CMC has put yes, very, very early one morning, and we can see it on his list. I think M's a new person whose message has said nope, but my partner did. Oh, well, you just take it off their account. That's how it works. And Mark Bailey has put nope. Myself and all the kids were lucky enough to get shiny Zavira. Tried and ended up with lots of XXS and XXL, but nothing sparkled. Maybe next year. And interestingly, it said some responses have been hidden due to the insensitive nature of the comments. I've clicked reveal, and it's brought up a post from the Incensed podcast.
What?
Elon Musk is not our fan, clearly.
No, it says now live episode 142 and audio fixed. Interesting, but let's get to the result of the poll.
Yes.
So we had 91 people vote, and 16% of people got shiny Zavira.
That's expected.
84% didn't. So
Yeah.
we're all very much in the majority if we didn't get it. So but no, thank you everyone for voting on that. That is really, really. And I think we're going to close this one out now, boys. So thank you everyone for joining us on 143. It has run longer than we thought it would do.
Might not in the edit. We don't know.
Just doing half an hour.
An hour and a half's been cut. Now, another round is definitely done now, and hopefully you've enjoyed the podcast. But we do like to listen to people that are first-time listeners or people that haven't reviewed it yet. Please do so. Hit that follow, subscribe button as well on all the usual suspects of platforms. That's Apple, Google, Spotify. And please leave us a review, preferably a 5-star one. But you know what?
Give us what we're worth, yeah.
Give us what we're worth. It'd be nice to read out some reviews again. So please do that. That'd be lovely. Please also follow us on our social medias. We've got plenty of platforms that we're always posting on and engaging with our
we're
listeners.
posting on Threads a lot more now. We've posted it twice last week.
Yeah, X as
Wow,
well.
have we?
Podcast edits and releases.
And Instagram, you can see Milo runs our Threads account. You can tell
Yeah,
from
100%.
Also, once on Spotify, we've had 285 reviews now.
Smashing.
Oh, just thinking we
On
could get that to
Spotify.
300.
Get that to 300, and it's still at 4.9.
Go on, listeners. Get us to 300.
Do you know what, though? I'm going to say, that's amazing, isn't it? We've got so many reviews on that. But yeah, please, can we get someone Apple at that so we can read them out? Because I think that's
Well, we actually do have one on Apple that's quite recent, actually.
Do it, Ian.
I say it's quite recent. This review was left on Apple a month ago, on the 25th of September, by Guttenanga. I've got a feeling that isn't the user's real name, but it says, Smoochums, the poll is in. This podcast is absolutely nice. So many in-jokes, so fun, so well edited. These lads should one day move on from Pokemon Go. They just have such great chemistry. I'm not even sure I'd play Pokemon Go if it wasn't for this. I look forward to this podcast above all others in my week. Thanks for bridging the divide between Milton Keynes and Ealing. Well, we don't just bridge it between Milton Keynes and Ealing, we bridge it between the whole world, but we'll let you off.
We'll start small
More the world than
starting
Ealing.
point.
And definitely
And
more
Milton
than-
Keynes. Thank you very much for writing
But
that
yeah,
in.
thanks, Guttenanga.
Genuinely.
Yeah, whoever
We
you are.
appreciate it. We really do. I'm glad you enjoyed the podcast.
But while we're talking about the podcast, if you do actually want to, because I advocate for this, send us a voice message. You've heard Lachlan today. You've heard one from Kerry. You've heard others. It can literally be about anything. And seriously, if it makes me smile, if it's genuine, or even if it's crazy, I will push play, as PayPal Simon found out.
Which jingle shall they try and impersonate this week?
Send us your version of the WhatsApp jingle.
Oh, yes. Do you want to play the original so they know what to do?
Yes, the original version, which, if you could emulate, would be very much fun.
Send your WhatsApps
It's a very low bar.
It's a very low bar, but you would not believe how long it took me to record that with Coops.
If you know Coops, I could believe it.
I'll
It was
just
a
leave
lie.
that one there. But the number that you need to store in your phone so that you can send us a WhatsApp message, and it'll be free. You're not calling us. It's just using your mobile data. So this is literally sending us whatever you want, however long you can record for free. The number is +44 759 269 5696.
Nice.
There we go. We rock and roll with it all. Thank you to our amazing Patreon members who support the show. We say this every single week. Without your support, it would not allow us to create and produce the content that we do so. as people have commented before on it, producing this and post-production that goes into making this happen isn't a 5-minute job. It takes a lot of time. Your support really does allow us
and
to
we
do
might
that.
actually need to employ an IT team soon if things keep happening.
Yes. We would also like to mention special thanks to our Gold Patreon members. They are Hermes Ninja, JB, Clifford Mert, Darby Russ, Kerry and Zachary, Connolly, Apex 171, Mufti, Barside 2, JLH 1919, Highbone, and Maz, aka Ozma Lionheart. Thank you so very much. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. It has been a fun one, as they always are. We hope you have a great week, and we will see you again this time next week.
But wait, good news!
What?
Well, I won't be playing this, but next Tuesday, the 7th of November, Chinchu will be the Spotlight Hour, and we get 2 times candy, Zoe, I hope you're listening, for transferring Pokemon.
Wow.
It's your Spotlight Hour 5 seconds in.
I don't even get that anymore.
Oh. Well, on that Pogo bombshell, we will see you all next week.
I thought you just said on that Pogo disappointment.
I choose you!